Hello, 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 beautiful souls. Whether you identify yourself as a star seed, seeker of truth, seeker of love and light, welcome. My name is Stephanie, and today is the beginning of the new week. I'm recording this on January 3rd, and this message is intuitively received with the aid of Lord Ganesha stepping forward and with spirit guides to lead us, encourage us to what it is that we need to do in order to focus for this week in terms of our goals and what we're creating, and really to continue to be inspired in grounding that energy that we receive from above and being able to apply that in a tangible way. So the readings that came up, let me show you. Flipping the camera over. We have the first one, number 28, which is perseverance. Number 12, childlike expression. And when we open this up right here, number 44 is blessings. And number 16, clear your energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them through like a beautiful story so you can see the whole sum of what we're being advised and guided to focus on this week. And before we go in, for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Stephanie, and I would say I am a spiritual storyteller. I love to help convey spiritual wisdom and truths in a tangible way that we can be able to apply them in our surface level, our daily lives. I also help my clients who are having a difficult time in terms of seeing real progress and growth in their lives. So oftentimes I find that what the issue is that there might be an old program or an old story you're telling yourself that's holding you back from moving forward. And so today's message is perfect because I had asked guidance in terms of how can I translate this in a way so that everyone can understand. And so I want us to begin to think of, because this is going to come up for us, your childlike expression. We all have our inner child within us. Think back to when you were a kid, right? And as a child, you are already in tune to what your needs are and your desires are. And we know this by and through our emotions and our interaction, our senses with the external world. And remember, as children, you have all your needs supplied for, right? Your parents, your guardians watch over you and give you what you need, your desires, right? To take care of you for your nourishment and growth. However, along the way, we were taught to give up our desires for the sake of others. And so we tend to carry, oftentimes or not, this belief that I can't have everything I want and I desire. That in every interaction and situation, transaction, exchange of energy, there's going to be a win-lose situation. But that's not true. And so that's the first lie we are debunking today. Lord Ganesha is reminding us that that lie that we just debunked is not true. He says, if we take a look at this card, blessings, consider what it is that you want exactly at this time. Don't shy away from your desires. Don't water it down. Don't continue to feed into that false lie that you have to sacrifice or someone has to sacrifice something in order to come out the victor. Your desires are within your reach, and there's no need to know how the details are going to play out or what pieces of the puzzle you need in order to move forward, in order to see this come into fruition. Because the universe is always in harmony, in alignment with your desires. And because of this truth, the hows, all the details where not a single piece will be missing. We're also reminded here that all our angels, our spirit guides, Lord Ganesha, our higher selves, are working behind the scenes. They're the ones helping to bring everything to us. And as long as we hold true, focused to our desires, to focusing on the positive outcome and belief in ourselves that this is going to come and that we're worthy of it, then there's nothing obstructing our path. And this actually brings us to the next card where it says, clear your energy. Following the natural course and the rhythms of the cycles of nature, there's ebbs and flows, right? And there could be certain points, times in our life, especially when it comes to us moving forward and growing, where we can get what we could call information overload. Our senses, through our emotions, we can feel overwhelmed. And in order to get back to really focus in on our desires, we have to tune into that inner child of ourselves. That inner child, remember, that already knew and knows from the beginning what their needs are. And so when we're sensing this overwhelmment of pressure from the external world around us, or from our own choice to focus on negative, perpetuating thoughts that bring us down and distract us from focusing on the goal and desires, it's important to clear that energy. And how do you clear that energy? It's by stepping into those moments, those in the now present moments where your inner child is at ease and free to play and has no worries. You're in the moment, in the zone. And so think about activities in which you engage in and you feel all this bliss, a playful, creative, flowing energy, feminine energy. Think of like the moving waters. And I always say, participate in activities where you feel more confident when you're in the moment and done afterwards, where you feel empowered, you have all this more creative energy. So taking a walk, lifting weights, practicing yoga, playing music, dancing, just being spontaneous in the moment, in the present now. And now that you let go of all these expectations and things that really we can't control. And in fact, if you take into account that image of an inner child, of a child that you look at, you're not wanting them to be responsible for anything and everything, right? You just want them to be them. So we're being advised and encouraged to just be ourselves. And this takes us into another lesson to keep in mind, is that when things get tough, it is so easy for the human mind to focus on lack, focus on what's going on in the problem, and thinking that we can solve the presented situation by looking at the problem. But again, when you focus on clearing your energy, entering that space, by returning to your inner child and releasing all these fears and expectations, and thus looking at things from a fresher, more higher perspective, renewed perspective, a bright perspective of hope, right? And abundance. You open your mind to seeing a whole like world of more possibilities, and solutions is the key here. Solutions, more possibilities of solutions. And this is the next suggestion, is that gratitude is the other portal, another portal for you to enter in through in order to tap into that inner child. And why gratitude? Because in gratitude, if you know the scripture, in love there is no fear. Fear cannot exist, right? And so when we're in a space of gratitude, the mind can't hold fear and worries while at the same time being thankful and grateful and looking at solutions. You have to make a decision to choose one or the other. And so this is where it might seem like these suggestions are very easy and just common sense. But really, are they so common? Because how often do you practice them consciously? And this is why these suggestions are being presented and brought out this week, because they are necessary. Sometimes these are habits that we just tend to neglect, thinking that they're not big or big players in helping us to make progressions in our life, when in reality they are the basic foundations that are necessary to build a really firm structure. And this applies to anything in life. You can think about it in terms of just easy analogy would be, oh, weight. Of course, you will gain weight if you eat too much, right? The basic foundation is eating within a regimen that fits you, right? And so the other reason why this is coming up for us is because we were suggested just earlier this past week that habits, what we do, what we express, actually show and tell the story, paint the picture of the direction of where we're going and of what we are sowing and expressing out in the current moment. And so, before we begin to quit, and either, quitting and believing that what we're waiting for is on its way or it's already here, right? We're just aligning ourselves to it. Before we quit and believing that the change is possible for us to achieve, it's important to persevere. And taking a moment to explore this card a little bit more deeper in depth. Take a moment to look at what Lord Ganesh is holding. He's holding his horn. Tusk. And a tusk is very strong material, right? As we know, it's actually a symbol of sacrifice and strength. And it shows that in the creation process, there's always something that's going to be needed to be turned in for an exchange of energy. And in this instance, it's going to be your work, your effort, what it is that you are devoting yourself to, focusing on. And we touched base on the topics of, whatever you focused your mind on, whatever it is that you are doing with your hands. These are the things that you're sowing into the energy exchange. Because in nature, things are always changing, things are always growing. When you go from fall to winter to spring, you're letting go of something in order to welcome the new, right? And so in this case, we are being asked to just put in our work on our mindset, our habits, our actions, trying new things, having fun, taking in that energy, embodying that energy of the inner child, happy, expressive in the moment now, and not losing faith while we're waiting to experience that newness. And for those who persevere and focus on the right direction of moving forward, worry not that your investment is not going to go to waste. And this is something I'm being guided to just bring up. Sometimes we're afraid to try something new because maybe in the past it didn't work. But maybe in the past the mindset wasn't there. Maybe you didn't believe in yourself. But if your desire hasn't changed, try a new approach. Remember, the inner child brings us into that energetic space where maybe plan A and B didn't work, but maybe in a different way it might. Maybe in a different environment it will. Just don't lose that hope. Continue to persevere in the newness, in the now. Let go of the expectations. Focus on the goals. And most importantly, practice, embody, feel that energy of gratitude, and let it just continue to lift your vibrations, your energy up and forward and beyond. And lastly, we're guided to prioritize. Prioritize your desires and your goals first, because it is your ideals, your passions, your goals that will determine what you seek in life and what you will receive and experience. Keep this up. Keep the faith. Because if you give up now, if not now, when? As a divine storyteller, my prayer is that you all experience the new growth, the abundance, the desires, the shift, change that you've come into this earth and this plane of existence to experience and to move on from. Also, that you realize the full potential of who you are, your truth, as the vessel for the divine expression, creative energy to come through you and to vibrate and to touch other beautiful souls. If you're looking to work one-on-one and you need guidance and just more clarity in terms of how to structure your goals, how to stay persistent on your journey, and if you need help to really name those fears, blocks to truth, or energetic blocks, bringing them out from the darkness to the light, bringing them up to the surface so we can face them together, reach out to me, contact me. I'd love to work with you, because it is my goal, my desire, to see a lot more souls waking up, woke, tapped and tuned in to their higher self potential, your strength. Because it is from there, the more we vibrate and shine brightly as a collective, the more others and more cosmic shift we'll be able to do together and create for the highest and greatest good of us all. And so thank you so much, and I pray that the rest of your week goes really well. May you see signs and blessings from your guides. And remember, you're not alone. We're all going through the same journey of expressing who we really are at soul level. And to close out our practice, Sat Nam.